Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Between the Ropes TV. Guys, I have lost my voice a bit, but I am going to do this fight preview today because it's too big to be missed. And we, of course, on about Errol Spence Jr. coming up against Ugas, and this is going to be potential for fight of the year. It's a massive, massive, massive clash in the welterweight division with three of the four recognised titles coming up for grabs this weekend. Guys, remember, before I jump into the video today, help us out, hit that like button, and also please do subscribe to the channel as well. Help me out, come on. I'm doing this preview and I've barely got a voice. But guys, let's talk about this preview because it is going to be a massive, massive fight. It really is. As I said, three of the four recognised belts on the line. Of course, Mr. Terence Crawford holds the fourth one. We'll speak about him in a bit. But this fight, it's going to be interesting. It really is. Of course, we've got the undefeated Errol Spence Jr., 32 years of age now, coming up against a little bit older Ugas, who also does have 4 defeats to his name. But this is going to be one hell of a fight. I really do think so. The early predictions, a lot of people saying that they expect Spence to get past Ugas, especially with the age difference, and then come on to obviously a unified division. And it is one of the most spoke about divisions in boxing at the moment because the host of talent is unreal. And it has to be said that both of these have beaten formidable opponents. Of course, Ugas did lose to Sean Porter. People and the Errol Spence Jr. fans will argue that Errol Spence Jr. has beaten Porter. He is undefeated. We've seen him take on other big names within the division. Obviously, Danny Garcia, Kell Brook, just to name a few. Algieri. He's got a really impressive resume, and this will further add to that resume if he does pick up the win, which is expected. He is the favourite. He is the one people are thinking will get the job done. But it is interesting. It's an interesting fight. I don't think it's as easy as that. It really isn't. And obviously, you look at Errol Spence's record, 77% of his fights have ended by way of knockout of the opponent. This one's going to go the distance for me. I think it really is. And I think it's going to be a really well fought, well contested fight. And who even knows if the Crawford fight that probably both fighters would be eyeing up next to unify the division can't be done. I really could see this going once again. Could we see another fantastic trilogy? Of course, we got one in the heavyweight division with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Could we be going towards that kind of level? Or could this see, obviously, Ugas if he doesn't pick up the win? 36 years of age now. Do I fancy him to retire? That could be very much a possibility. But look, the Cuban, he is going to fight. He is going to want this victory. And more importantly, what's up for grabs for both of these potentially is that unification, that final unification belt with, of course, Mr. Terence Crawford. I think that will give an incentive to both fighters. I really do. And I think a lot of people, if we're being honest, they probably want to see Errol Spence Jr. taking on Terence Crawford. And if Spence Jr. can pull off this win, that'll be the next fight everyone's eyeing up. And potentially that could happen towards the end of the year. And it would be one hell of a fight. I mean, I say this is in itself, though, is set up to be a real potential fight of the year. I think it'll be really well contested. I think both fighters will pick up rounds, but I do fancy it to go all the way. And guys, I am going to predict on this one. Errol Spence Jr. will pick up the win, and hopefully that will then set up the unification fight. If we're all being honest, I think the majority of us boxing fans do want to see. No disrespect to you, Gas, but I think everyone realistically has their eyes on that Terence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. fight. And that would be one hell of a fight. And hopefully it could be a fight that we got this year. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What are you expecting to see? Do you think one of these fighters will win by way of knockout? Do you agree with me? I just fancy it to go points. I think both fighters have the power to win by knockout. but I don't know why. I just think this might be a little bit of a cagey start. Who knows? Maybe Mr. Ugas, with the age going against him, might seem a bit weaker in the later rounds, and that could offer opportunity for Errol Spence Jr. to win this one via way of knockout. But I'm going to predict a points win for Errol Spence Jr. Guys, let me know in the comments. Do you agree? Are you excited for this fight? Are you hopeful that this will set up a fight for Terence Crawford, for whoever wins it? 3 of the 4 titles up for grabs. One thing that can be guaranteed is this is going to be an absolute blockbuster this weekend. Guys, help us out as always. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well. And I'm going to call it a day before my voice completely goes. But guys, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and hopefully I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.